Mm-mm.
And we are live on YouTube.com.
Remember when videos used to do that as their intro, like into the video, they'd be like, YouTube.com.
Yeah. I specifically
Crazy.
remember the YouTube poop era.
Yeah. That stuff was crazy.
Audio good as per usual.
Mm.
I got a new dang phone,
Yeah.
so everything's slightly larger than it used to be.
Ew.
Okay.
At least you don't have a stylus.
Isn't that true? One Apple W for once.
I also don't have a stylus because I'm not as current.
But welcome back, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for my blunder earlier today. I accidentally set both of the stream announcements for today instead of today and Thursday, so they both fired off at the same time.
Dang.
Saying
Well, I'll
that
start
we were
streaming then.
both Castlevania and Umineko today.
Let me pull it up. No, I'm kidding.
I
I don't even know if you can do that.
Today is Umineko, as per usual. Yeah.
Wonder-
This
I
is
wonder
what
if you
I'm
can
doing
do
now
that.
instead of what we were going to do, Percy. I was going to tell you that we had to end at like a 2-hour mark so I could go do a thing, but it ended up that the thing got canceled, so we don't have to end at a 2-hour mark.
Well, I was going to say,
Today.
I'm very tired today, so I don't know how much I have in me. I was hoping we could get through our tea party and our question mark, and then, I don't know, maybe get on Rokenzuma. Depends on how long that takes. We saw how long that took last time. So,
Yep. So,
but yeah.
instead of just talking about it, let's get into it.
True.
For,
What
actually,
happened
first,
last
should we
time?
do tea party or question mark? Tea party?
Tea party always first, yeah.
Okay. Last
Tea
time,
party, then the question marks.
we ended episode 2
A lot happened. Oh, well,
with
Welcome
Battler
to Purgatory.
being resoundingly defeated.
yeah.
But Rosa, I almost just called her
She was
Rose.
cool.
Rosa stood defiant and denied the witch, causing the game to go on once again.
Speaking of which, it's me.
Rosa awoke from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy, and she wasn't thinking clearly. Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it didn't seem to be the Ushiromiya mansion. She could see a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had probably been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical.
They're gonna hold on to that instead of calling them butterflies every time, huh?
Yeah, the gold leaf, yeah.
It's gold leaf. Wait, no! It's butterflies every time. It's
They do that a lot in this with certain things.
it's what do you call that? A repeating thingy?
A
I forget what
leitmotif.
that's called. Yeah.
When she eventually realized that they were gold butterflies,
See?
it further strengthened that impression.
Oh, it's also me.
Are you gonna be nice now instead of have Battler attached to a chain naked?
Well, I'm smiling.
There was someone across from her. A woman.
Whoa.
A lady. It was the
Ah.
portraits. I heard that too. Which
Okay.
did it actually give us? Something?
Strange, yeah.
That wasn't the teardrop noise. It was like a different noise.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah.
Normally that
Ah!
means tips. Holy moly. Well, we got a lot of... Battler's just gone, by the way. Do you see this?
True. That's funny.
He's not even there.
Missing because he's furniture now. He's not a person.
Dang.
He was probably happy. He managed to be reunited with the Golden Witch, if only for a brief time. Crushed to bits, eaten by demons, went to hell.
Dang.
Pack full of candy. That's the same. Yup. That's the same. Yup. 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 Happy Halloween.
Mm.
Ah. In the Golden Land, she finally found a treasure more precious than gold. However, it only lasted a brief time. Because of a fool, she was forced to once again lose what she had finally found. Afterwards, she was chewed into a pulp by demons and went to hell. In the Golden Land, she learned that her mother still truly loved her. At least for now, she is satisfied. Same, 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 same. Selfless furniture seeks nothing but repose in the Golden Land. However, since a fool obstinately rejects the Golden Land, it seems his time of repose is unlikely to come soon. Afterwards, he was torn to pieces and eaten by demons and went to hell. And this is normal. My
Was it
kill
in
button's
tips? No, that's all
I think
the
it's
same.
just the people that hadn't died at the end of it last time. I think, yeah.
Alrighty then. Strange. Oh!
It was the portrait's witch. She seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa. But Rosa, whose mind was clouded up by a deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said.
Choose whatever you please. If there's anything you want, I'll give it all to you. You can think of it as a reward for your good luck, or else as proper compensation for how you've answered to my demands. It may have been a truly trivial matter from your perspective. However, the deal was important enough to me to be deserving of this reward.
What is she talking about? I don't know. I don't know.
It's just that I am very much a witch.
What?
Yeah. Perhaps you'd best ask for something only a witch can give you. What a rare chance this is. To actually receive the favor of Beatrice the Golden, me.
Finally, Rosa started to feel the blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking.
I am commonly called the Golden Witch. Bestowing a mountain of gold like the one I gave Kinzo is trivial to me. After all, you can measure all the pleasures of the human world with money. Therefore, gold is no more or less than the manifestation of the human world's pleasures. Can you imagine it? A mountain of gold that you couldn't use up as long as you live?
The Elden Ring! Sorry. As the witch blew on her pipe, multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. Beatrice put us in the I can't
Put us in the spin cycle, bro.
So I was gonna say dishwasher, but I was like, that's not right. That's not the right thing. As she did this, the inside of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. Minecraft. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. Have you seen that? Have you seen the meme of her in Battler with Minecraft?
No, not particularly.
I'll show it to you at some point if I can remember to. It's really funny.
I was just giggling in response to Percy's message.
The entire meme is just her like saying things incorrectly about Minecraft the entire time, and Battler's just like, that's wrong. That's not what happens in Minecraft.
Dang. Minecraft proofing.
Yeah. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seems sinful to even think of such a number.
However, the human world is difficult. I know there are some things that cannot be settled, no matter how high into the sky you pile up gold. I know there are cracks that cannot be filled. I won't make light of that, which is why this is a gift that only a witch such as I can give. Why don't I fill those cracks in for you? Yes, how about this? It's something only I can give. You should be very happy. No need to thank me out loud.
No need to thank me.
I can tell right away. It's written on your face and in the corners of your heart.
Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak, and was so helpless that it was difficult to even move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen.
How far must the deep wounds in your heart recede before they can be healed? This is deep.
And I'm 14.
Quite deep indeed. Sometimes wounds close up while a fragment of foreign matter remains inside. Even when such wounds appear to have healed, they continue to throb for all eternity. Sometimes you have to open the wound once more in order to heal it completely.
Ow. As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away.
So, your pain was already fated by the time of your birth. How heartbreaking. You don't have to say it. I understand. I understand.
Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes.
Oh.
Then, the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in. She became gold leaf, no. Gold butterflies.
Yeah. Oh.
Rosa. Rosa. Why are you such an idiot?
Dang.
Oh, that's Kraus Nissan's voice. Kraus Nissan is a real adult, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa.
Dang.
He was a very scary person. I was often hit, and my toys were taken from me and broken. He looked just like that when he was 12.
He did. I do have to say, the music we've been getting is like crazy, so I'm going to call them.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is called Rest. This one's called Daydreams End.
Interesting.
We're in a dang chapel right now.
Yeah. I was apparently being punished for something bad I'd done, but I never really understood what it was, or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly, and then later told what the punishment was for, in a forced manner. But it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Kraus Nissan.
Sounds a lot like Maria.
True. It's like poetry.
Oh, it's me. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot?
Oh, that's Eva Nissan's voice. Eva Nissan is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated the stupid kid, Rosa. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and she said it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Eva Nissan, and listen to what she said. But when I obeyed her, for some reason, someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Eva Nissan.
Let me guess. Yep. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot?
Oh, that's Rudolf Nissan's voice. Rudolf Nissan really knows how to get things done. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. When Kraus Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Kraus Nissan. What? Oh, I understand. When Eva Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Eva Nissan. And when Kraus Nissan wasn't around, he would be violent like Kraus Nissan. And when Eva Nissan wasn't around, he would play dirty like Eva Nissan. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Kraus Nissan and Eva Nissan weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolf Nissan. Oh, but these were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids. And you mustn't hold grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be a part of growing up and becoming an adult. So becoming an adult is the same as separating yourself from all those memories. And because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. Even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself.
How can I heal you? It's possible, but not easy. I might rewind time and give you a world where you have no older siblings. But that way, your memories of being hurt by your older siblings wouldn't remain. And in that sense, while you might call it a gift, you wouldn't be able to accept it. A person is only satisfied when their starvation is healed. But if you make it so they never starved in the first place, none of them will thank you. Just like how there are no young people who give thanks for their daily gluttony. Understand?
I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying? Strictly speaking, that's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure we earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain.
Which means you must know joy in order to compensate you for your pain. You should be proud of your past sufferings. After all, they are what make it possible for you to know pleasure that those without pain will never experience. Those who experience this pleasure cannot help but pass on the same joy to others. Spin cycle 2.
When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa truly did feel a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was. But at the same time, she felt a bit of an anticlimax. After all, she didn't think being bullied by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious.
Food is the source of many human pleasures. You simply must eat like a pig as long as you live. If one meal isn't enough, then have as many as you want. Until the pain of your heart is healed, why not continue this gourmet banquet? Begin it, furniture.
As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly 2 goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body still felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she'd be able to eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar. and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well, and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth.
It's a sweet... We've seen this word before. I have to remember. I'm just going to rip it again. Yeah. It's a sweet aperitif of noble wrought German-made wine. A wine cocktail of white wine mixed with a crimson golden drop.
You would.
If I had to give it a name, I'd call it a Bloody Kraus.
Because that's...
Uh-oh. Soaked with just a golden drop of your brother's blood that was squeezed out of a compressor.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah?
I guess Rosa is narrating Rosa.
Sure, I'll try it. Rosa coughed violently.
And the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood.
You know a lot about black tea, so you should know what it means, right? Golden drop refers to the last drop in a drink. It is called the most precious drop in black tea. So a golden drop of blood is the same. The last and most precious drop of blood squeezed out of a human. We squeeze it using that.
The doohickey?
Mm-hmm. The thingamabob.
As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive machine there was just like a coffin for a large-sized person, with many large bulb-like things stuck to it. And it looked like a sinister torture device.
It's the dang iron lung.
Yep. Although I guess it's less of a lung and more of like a bladder.
True, the iron kidney.
By its unnerving shape, she could tell that with a human's strength, it could be used to tighten and compress something. And it seemed that there were still some squeezed dregs remaining. Well, then that wasn't the golden drop because it wasn't the last drop of blood. Because of the bright red remains that stained it.
Oh, but you can't take more than one golden drop at once. No matter what kind of human you take it from, you can't get more than one drop. But I am a witch. Reviving a person is easy for me.
When the witch snapped her fingers, the human compressor suddenly began to shake. No. She could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone was sleeping in that man-sized coffin, had woken up, and was now struggling to get out. But that was wrong. What was inside definitely had been squeezed dregs. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they'd been before they were squeezed. Squozed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor. We haven't seen any of those yet. I want to see the muscular ones. And forcefully started tightening the large ball. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. No. Wait, no, she named the drink Kraus because it was Kraus in the coffin?
Moly. Wouldn't you know it?
No.
Yeah. It is fitting for cooking to be done in the kitchen. Enough. Stand back.
Let her cook.
True.
I was being sarcastic, Percy. I do that a lot in these.
It's true. It's thickly veiled, so not everyone understands it unless you've been around him for a while. Do you understand how precious a golden drop is? To have it stained this crimson requires that several dozen people's worth be squeezed.
The witch definitely said that only one golden drop could be taken from a single human. It's also probably a lot harder to tell if I'm being sarcastic or not since you can't see my face.
Yeah.
When it's just my voice, yeah, it probably is harder. And yet, she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Dang, Kraus getting wrung out.
Yes.
Only a witch could do this.
Tom and Jerry looking on.
The Golden Witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. Because she's the witch of the endless way. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom. Okay, that line actually goes kind of hard.
Do you need me to put it a different way? Have you forgotten the day this man hit you when you swallowed the blood that ran into your mouth? That's right. Remember that taste. Remember the taste of the tears that you spilled until you were dry. I believe this aperitif will be sufficient to heal that regrettable memory.
Once again, the goat-head servants tilted a deep red glass against her mouth. Ew.
Papa
Rosa
Goat.
tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock.
She thought it tasted sweet earlier.
She didn't know what it was then.
Just don't
The
tell her.
inside
then
of her
she'll just keep
mouth
drinking
was
it.
filled with a ghastly sweetness.
See, it's okay.
You'd be perfect furniture.
Yeah.
It definitely was a fragrant sweetness. Also, what do you mean kinda based in chat? What do you mean?
Kraus was mean to her. Now he's getting what he deserves.
Uh-huh.
Endless death.
The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillow so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could the crimson-stained wine not be sweet?
Dang.
But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth looked just like a bloodstain. It is.
Well,
it
yeah.
is. Now that she knew that this ghastly substance wasn't a simple aperitif, it's making me say it too,
I know, it's weird.
Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued.
I was gonna
Wait
say,
for
this
the
is just a
Rudolph
drink.
chicken.
Yeah. Rudolph chicken. That is a double-tongued salad made from vegetables in season. On your 9th birthday, you made a wish that you'd someday get to chew this to bits. This salad made from Ava's tongue.
When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up in the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Yeah? Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth.
Here comes the tongue. Oh gosh. How does your double-tongued sister taste? Also, I didn't even realize that's really funny. It's
Yeah.
double-tongued. It must be quite soft and enchanting, right? Only two people that know what Ava's tongue tastes like. Rosa and Hideyoshi.
Yeah? It probably would be quite sweet, soft, and enchanting in her mouth. I wouldn't? Would it though? Would it?
I've never had tongue. I wouldn't know.
After all, Ava's lies were all... Okay, it's going the metaphorical route. Ava's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And you might say the stimulating pepper seasoning expressed in the truth behind those lies well. Expressed the truth behind those lies well.
Oh, it's making the drippy sound.
Yeah. As the tongue salad that kept being pushed into Rosa's mouth was covered with saliva, she spat it out. Okay, she's getting back a little bit. She's spitting
Tongue
it out.
salad? You can
Yummy,
make that work with a
yummy.
wiggle song. Yeah. Tongue salad.
Again, us over here as the two Muppets on the... But the goat-head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again.
Oh. It goes without saying, but I made the salad liberally using 5 of Ava's tongues. You can't get more than 1 tongue out of a person. But I can get them over and over.
As Rosa's tears dripped down, she resisted frantically. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth.
Does it not please you? There's lots more. Sea bass pie wrapped in the skin of Rudolph's face. Soup with boiled brains, liver pâté. And look forward to dessert. It's not just your siblings, see? I have lavishly assembled all of those whom you have trusted, and yet by whom you were betrayed. Why don't we continue this banquet for all eternity until your heart is satisfied? For all eternity. You're happy, right? Ushiromiya Rosa? Don't pretend you hate it. I know that you're actually happy, okay? If you want to laugh, then do so. And if you won't feel better until you've heard a raw performance of your annoying older sibling's screams, I'll let you hear them as much as you like. Fear not, your reluctance doesn't trouble me. That's just your personality, right? On the inside, you're actually so happy that your skin is crawling all over. And yet on the outside, you're merely pretending that all this causes you pain, yes? It's all right. Here, there's no need to worry about honor or your public image or anything. So laugh as much as you want and chew it to bits. Isn't this the best banquet, Ushiromiya Rosa? Please, stop. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to leave dessert as a surprise. But let me reveal it now anyways. Maybe that will be enough incentive for you to eat up the full course. Your dessert is that beloved daughter that you had to keep pretending to love. Oven-baked Maria with apples. Doesn't that sound yummy?
And Percy, is this based?
Once you eat this, you will be released from everything. Freedom, you see, freedom! Finally, Rosa will gain freedom as an individual person. Aren't you happy? You should be happy. Drool is hanging from your mouth. Just try looking in a mirror. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, she's fine. Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm. Oh, we're gonna do a live cooking.
Yeah.
And Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was only slightly sad. Mama, was I a burden?
You aren't a burden.
As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth, as she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed.
If you think I'm a burden, I don't mind if you eat me. After all, I'm always doing horrible things to you. Even when you bring a man over, I can't stay quiet. When you spend the night out with a man, I get lonely and unruly and make a mess of my room. When I go to search by myself, I get lost. The police pick me up and you're shamed. When you don't come home for several days and I cry and have to be consoled by the neighbors, you're shamed. Because I'm like this, I'm a burden to Mama. Sorry for being born. So I'll become delicious oven baked apples for Mama's sake. And then, maybe Mama will be happy I exist for the first time. Maybe she'll eat me and think I'm delicious.
Isn't it delicious? Be choked up with tears of gratitude. Your daughter is saying this much for you, right? Oven-baked apples and your beloved daughter make for the best dessert. You've managed to raise such delicious ingredients. Aren't you the best mother, Ushiro Rosa? Oh.
Oh, epilepsy warning.
Oh.
Mama, thanks for everything. Bye-bye.
Wait! Wait, Maria, that's wrong. Stop it already. Stop it already. No! I didn't want something like this. Please stop. Please forgive me. No.
Oh, the noise.
Stop it already. Yeah. Don't put it in my mouth. Have you been satisfied with my hospitality? Then I'll have you accept it. That I am a witch. Proclaim it. Ushiro Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. I accept it! Ushiro Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. So give Maria back. Release me! I finally made you acknowledge it. That crafty battler has already surrendered, and I made Rosa, the fool who denied me even after being invited to the Golden Land, accept it. Perfect. It's perfecto. I've accomplished my perfect victory. Come, bring Maria. Prepare a delicious oven roast for Rosa. No! Maria! Oh.
Looks delicious. Oh! Slice up your cow tits and make me a sandwich. Need that on a shirt.
True.
What was that, Battler?
You already
It's his
know.
fucking theme!
Whoa, that voice. Ooh.
An arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. As it did, the witch broke to pieces, turned into a cloud of gold butterflies, and reformed into her body a short distance away.
Battler? You bastard. I thought you'd surrendered so far that even your soul was furniture.
Me too. But while I was listening to that gross recipe, I started to get a little hungry.
Huh.
Now I feel like eating a whole roast witch.
Dang.
And Maria, it's 10 years too early for you to talk about having someone eat you up.
Crazy.
New Sprite moment? Why is he like this?
I don't know.
But in 10 years, you better say that to me. Promise.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Remember I said Matt Mercer had to say that one line?
Yeah.
We all have to say lines that we're like, who wrote this?
Promise. No, Maria, no.
Pat Naku.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Aunt Rosa. I'd forgotten. This is a one-on-one fight between me and this woman. It's totally wrong for me to give in. Thanks to you hanging in there, I've gotten my will to fight back. This person... Oh, this is you.
Oh, true. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see. He doesn't know when to give up. Just what I'd expect from Ushiromiya Kinzo's grandchild. So the chick of a phoenix is a phoenix after all. Hey. How dashing. How amusing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have you any other way, battler. Try to deny me. I'll completely and thoroughly smash you to bits. Let me make you surrender over and over again. I'll teach you one who has licked my shoes the taste of defeat over and over again.
No problem. I'll teach you that I, Ushiromiya Battler, am a man who can stand back up even after crawling through the mud. I've never been invincible in a fight. I've lost loads of times. But I'll definitely crawl through the mud and stand up again. And then I'll finish this. In a man's fight, you don't lose until you accept defeat, no matter how much you get beat up.
I didn't hear no bell.
Don't think I'm out just because you took a shot at me. I'll give you a good show, Beatrice!
I'll accept your challenge, Ushiromiya Battler. Furniture, begin preparations for the next game. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me all about it? There were a lot of closed rooms in this game.
Oh, here we go.
Using red, I've smashed to bits most of the methods by which you tried to talk yourself out of them. What other evasive quibbles will you show me now? The lock to the chapel, the lock to Jessica's room, the lock to the servant room, the lock to Hanatsuhi's room, the lock to the parlor. Use your bizarre specialty. Those delusions, rantings, daydreams, and bluffs. All slanted with ridiculous, incredible turns of events, and show how you can thoroughly deny me!
Ah, it's useless. It's all useless! He said the line?
He did.
Say
Zen
the
Zen
line, Bart.
Damina.
Is that it? Is that Tea Party 2?
Oh! Yep.
Umineko no Naku Koro ni Rondo of the Witch and Reasoning. Staff.
Boy, howdy, here we go.
We've already seen this once. I don't think I need to...
To answer your question, Percy, they were roommates.
I can't get out of this. It's making me go through it.
That's okay.
Yeah, no. It's, well, we can talk. We can chat for a minute about everything that occurred. Holy schmoly.
Yeah.
So I was right. Battler did actually just give up for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I did not
ungived
expect.
up.
Yeah, I did not expect that to be the case. I did not expect him to actually have just given up, and he did actually lose. But he just didn't lose long enough. Everyone has to lose at the same time for Beatrice to win, but not everyone lost at the same time because Rosa was strong enough to not lose for long enough. Yeah? Yeah, Percy, like pretty much every character in this is related. I mean, not the servants, but they're all one big family. So
But they were all roommates.
maybe.
No.
Battler's just weird. Like, go back
Yeah.
to episode 1 of us doing this, and you'll see how he also does. So that's his little cousin, Maria, who's like, what, 9?
I think so.
He also says things like that to his cousin Jessica, who's like 16.
A year older than him.
She's a year older or a year younger?
Older.
She's older than him?
He's the youngest.
You're sure?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's him, Jessica, then George by a couple of years.
But still, she's like not that old at all.
And his cousin.
And his cousin.
Oh.
And basically the first thing he did to her was awooga, awooga. And he did that to Shannon too. One of the servants that he grew up with and pretty much could also consider like a close family relative. The first thing he did when he saw her was go awooga, awooga, boobies.
Wouldn't it go crazy if you just took that trope and flipped it just a little bit and instead Battler just does that to all of his male relatives?
George Aniki, nice cock.
Yeah. Whoa, it's been 5 years. How are those balls? You can do it to the servants too.
No!
Genji.
Oh.
Yeah, that is pretty much what happened. He was solely furniture and then was like, oh, they're cooking my cousin. Time to get up.
He did also, no, Percy's right. He did also say it made him hungry.
Yeah, he was like, smells good or something
Yeah.
like that.
He said, I was getting hungry after hearing all this. Oh, this family's just a bunch of weirdos.
I think our protagonist is the weirdest of weirdos, though, not gonna lie.
Are you sure?
I mean, the rest of them got their eccentric. Oh, there is. I forgot about him. Barring him, though, it's not that bad.
But Kenzo's like insane weird.
A
Battler's
lot of
not
them are just.
insane, but he's still weird, which kind of makes it worse because he is sane.
Yeah. And a lot of them are like normal, bad people. They're not really insane.
Yeah.
And then there's Kinzo and Battler.
Yeah.
They're kind of the opposite. They're insane, but largely good, except maybe not Kinzo. I don't know what you want to think about him.
I think Kinzo's just like deluded. Like he might have been good at one point, but he's just like too far gone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I'm eating a cookie. Everyone says that Battler takes after Kinzo like super. Like everyone's always like, "Oh, you take so much after Kinzo." So who knows? Maybe Kinzo was like that when he was younger.
I don't know. Oh, but whatever. Barring all that, Battler's a pretty good guy for fighting Beatrice.
Yeah. Beatrice is honestly, from what I've seen so far, which I've been given hints. I haven't seen anything definitive, but I've been given hints that she's like a tragic character. But from what I've seen so far, she is probably one of the most evil characters I've encountered in media ever.
Yeah, that's how you should perceive her, especially by the end of episode 2. She's freaked up.
From what I have visually seen, she has only done terrible things. And they even tried to pull a bait and switch in episode 2. They tried to start it off with it being like, oh no, she's good, and she's helping Shannon find love. And then halfway through, they're like, no, actually, that was all a ruse because she wanted them to feel horrible about losing their lover.
Yeah. But oh well. She does. The one thing she's got going for her right now is she did say in red that she always keeps her promises.
True.
Kokomi!
Kokomi? What about her?
Well, vocal.
Azrael.
Coco. Oh! Coco goat.
Sui sui! The little emoticon at the end of the theme.
That's
Can I muted it. Whoops.
Oh. I heard that for a minute.
I'm just pushing buttons to try to get it to go.
Nope.
That
Whoa.
unfortunately did.
Whoa. That was terrifying. Zenryoku Agency. Well, what do you think we're going to see in the question mark?
I'm hoping it's more inter-witch stuff because I want to be Bernkastel. I haven't gotten to be her. I got to be her last episode for one line.
True.
Which was pretty much her doing the pathetic meme.
Yeah.
And walking away.
It is the question mark, although it's still called the question mark. We've now been told in the little menu, it says that it is the tea party for those who are not human.
Wimch.
Dang. Mitch.
Yeah.
Who's Mitch?
McConnell?
I like the idea of a protagonist that's like Patrick Starr, and they're just too stupid that they literally don't understand what's going on. Your family members died. That's right. It was in a locked room. Uh-huh. No one could get in there because nobody had any keys. Seems right to me. So I used magic to kill your family. Magic doesn't exist.
Tell me how this wouldn't be Beatrice. Explain to me how raw stupidity wouldn't be Beatrice.
Yeah.
The Rokenjima incident, except it's the McConnell family instead of the Ushiromias.
Nobody asked Battler where he was. Nobody asked why his name showed up on the registry.
With all the comments he's been making.
Battler Ushiromiya is a very common name.
Complete the second tea party, a delicious snack. That's the name of the achievement.
Dang. A delicious snack. The one good thing that came from the Umineko anime was Beatrice saying in funny English voice, "It's perfecto." I had to run it that time when I got to it because I was like, "Yippee! Here we go!"
I thought you also liked the speaking in red in the anime.
I did like that too, but that's it. That's where it stops. Okay.
Only two things.
There's only two. Nothing else is good. Everything else is bad.
Oh, this is a classic.
Oh, give me a sec. I gotta fuel up. I gotta drink. 1 second.
Yep. My entire family has been violently murdered by the witch at Rokenjima.
This time it's not even buttered roll throat. It's just I don't know, man.
The people don't know about buttered roll throat.
It's true. They will.
Just bring that up to them like that.
They will know about it. And honestly, they know more about it than they think. It just has never been said before. But anyway. Well then. Did you find that game enjoyable?
Yeah!
A game that one-sided goes beyond being riveting. It's boring.
My. But you're as harsh as always. Considering how proud I was to have created a development so impactful that it might satisfy even the boredom-hating Lady Bernkastel, this response is quite harsh.
Well, I'll admit it was impactful. However, it was horrible as a fair game. Unless you plan to make the conditions a bit more even.
Are you saying there's no way to win? Not even for Lady Bernkastel?
I wonder what you mean by that, Beato.
There's no need to try and fool me. I already know that you're no bystander. They're looking at us, Levi. Were you planning on hiding it?
Beatrice is actually talking to us. They found out! We've been here the whole time!
You're an outrageous person to come into someone else's territory from such a great distance to work against them. You came to watch from the sidelines, and probably to push strongly for my defeat. I've guessed right, haven't I?
And if so?
Truly amusing. that I should be granted a chance to fight against Lady Banquet, the strongest of witches who defeated Lady Lambda Delta, is truly a pleasure.
Yes, I'm also pleased. I came all this way because I really wanted to see you, brimming with confidence, fall apart and lose.
What an honest person. Even so, it would be a shame if the contest between me and the great Lady Bernkastel was resolved without at least one observer.
You called her here, didn't you?
Not even a question mark.
That kid.
She's here.
The thumbnail
Which
lady!
one is it? Which
Okay,
one of us
so
is it?
in order, it's you, but due to the fact that she is the opposite of Bernkastel, I'm going to commandeer it.
Okay.
So that just means the next one will be you instead. There are some characters, there are some that have their dichotomies. It's the same as like I have to be Beatrice because you have to be Battler.
Okay.
So I'm putting it in our notes. Although I do have to come up with a voice for her. I think I got it though. I've watched enough of the Higurashi anime. I found you! I finally found you, Bernkastel!
Shit. How are you, Lambda? Looks like you've got lots of spare time, too. I wonder if it's fate that the pair who hates boredom should run into each other again.
Wow. Stupid kid! Can't you see you only won against me because of a little luck and a problem of compatibility? After that, you became such a brag, and now you're even picking a fight with Beatrice? Shouldn't you learn your place? Beatrice is strong. And she's even more brutal than I am. Just a bit. And by the way, don't go shortening people's names without their permission. Oink.
You're dumb too, Beato. If this kid's in your game, she'll make a mess of everything.
I certainly didn't just bring Lady Lambda Delta here to watch from the sidelines. After informing me that you were betting against me, she said that she would bet against you. What are they doing?
You're still holding a grudge, aren't you?
Because I'm the strongest witch in the universe. But I lost to you, which means I'm not the strongest. Ding, ding, ding. I was gonna say. So any enemy of yours is my ally. She's an ally. And there you have it. With the great Lady Banquet as our opponent, this may not even count as a handicap, but it should make for good entertainment. Why are they just blipping around?
Which moment?
I was gonna say, is this what they do? They gather in a circle of chairs and just kind of like
Spin.
port to different chairs? Yeah. What happens if two of them pick the same chair at once?
One sits on the other's lap.
Oh, that's the much calmer explanation.
They fuse.
That's what I was going for.
I like to
Oh,
think
Percy
that
left. Bye, Percy.
because they're powerful witches, they can tell if they're in each other's spots, so they just kind of mingle there in their little particles until one of them gets it.
True.
And the other one has to move.
Oh.
Do as you like. Now that I've been exposed, allow me to get serious.
That would be well. Going easy has never been written in my dictionary. Lady Lambda Delta, let us enjoy our precious time together. Yeah, I'll be counting on you, Lady Beatrice. I've been betrayed pretty bad by her, too. Until the two of us smash her up and pay her back double, I won't be able to rest.
I'll be counting on you, Lambda. And you, Beato. No matter what we fight over, this will be a very significant battle for us all.
That's right. Of course, I don't plan on losing, but we've got a goal beyond who wins and who loses. The witches are all here. After all, we hate boredom. Oh, God.
The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed.
Which one is who?
The giggle is Lambda, the cackle is Beatrice, and the guffaw is Bernkastel.
She's guffawing? That's crazy.
That's right. I should thank you, Beato. It looks like I'll finally be able to escape my boredom. Do your best to entertain me. Along with Lambda Delta.
Leave it to me. If we're decided, Beato, then let's start a strategy meeting right now. I know all of this girl's weak points, and I'll teach you all of them. And yet, Lady Lambda Delta, you were defeated by her. Oh, I won't tell you! I won't tell you! Soon.
Beatrice just got paired with the worst teammate.
Yeah.
Asked to reset chessboard.
Oh. Yeah, what she said. She's never boring, that Lady Lambda Delta. They're still doing it.
Isn't she? Take care of her. She gets lonely easily.
I see. So she's one of those that are popular these days.
What?
As expected from Lady Lambda Delta. Quite cutting edge.
What? What do you mean by any of that, Beatrice?
They're calling her tsundere.
Oh.
Because it's 1987. Or 86, I can never remember the
Go
exact year.
already. That kid's waiting for you to chase after her.
86. Then, if you'll excuse me, too much FNAF mingling and... Wait, FNAF and Umineko happen in the same... Oh my gosh. Anyway. See you next game. Oh.
I'm sorry. That troublesome one came, but don't mind it. More importantly, things sure got ugly. I thought I experienced a very tragic end in Lambda's game. But this one is exceptionally horrible. I can't say I don't understand why you're hugging your knees and closing up your heart. If you meet a fate like that a few more times, it'll take a lot less than 100 years to kill your heart. Beato saw through me, so I'll confess.
Whoa, the music?
You are now just like I was in the past, when I was imprisoned inside Lambda's world. Shut inside a labyrinth of cruel fate, tormented by a witch in a manner of speaking. I am a witch who was born from there. So maybe I'm like an older sister to you. So I decided that I'd lend you my power. However, even compared to my fate, yours is truly brutal. Not only do I sympathize with you, I'm almost brought to tears by your tragic fate. But please, don't lose heart. Please don't submit to Beato, no matter what. Certainly. That child's game is quite unfair. I've only been allowed a glimpse of the game board. But the unfair and clever devices set up on the stage are so disgusting that I imagine they far surpass those on Lambda Delta's game board. And what's even more frightening is that when that kid moves a piece, she doesn't always make the best possible move. This is where she's very different from Lambda. Lambda always uses an overpowering number of pieces to make the best possible move in order to win. But Beato sometimes intentionally goes easy on her opponent when she moves her pieces. Since, when we're in trouble, we try to seek out our opponent's strategy by looking at their moves. This creates a very formidable amount of noise in our information. That might cause a troublesome amount of disorder. However, as in chess, though a player might be able to create some noise for their opponent with a useless move, they'll still miss out on the more valuable move they avoided. In other words, it's not like your opportunities to take advantage of this are zero. Although you may not be able to believe it, that analogy holds true for this game as well. Even though those developments looked so overpowering, there actually was a weak point. A weak point that almost looks like she wanted you to take advantage of it. Though, I don't know if it's a trap or if she's testing us. Anyway, don't surrender. Don't stop thinking. Don't deny any possibility. As long as you continue to hold the will to fight, Beato will not win. What's the most important element in defense during a witch's battle? Rather than trying to win, try not to lose. If accepting her means your defeat, then you definitely mustn't accept her. Making you accept witches. There is no longer any doubt that this is one of Beatrice's victory conditions. Now that I have announced that I'm your ally, I too will make as great an effort as possible to lend you my power. Make an effort yourself as well. If you're still hugging your knees, quickly stand back up. In times like this, what did I used to say again? Gambate? Yay. Nipa. It's so embarrassing doing this. I've done this much for you, so quickly stand back up.
What'd she do? She pat him on the head?
The classic. I can't reveal too terribly much. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. That she's obviously, these two are characters that have
They're
come
from Higurashi.
from
I know that.
And also the funny music's playing, Fishy Aroma, as soon as she gets here. Bernkastel's character in Higurashi
She's the
was
main
not at
character,
all,
isn't she?
arguably, probably, but her character was much different in personality than this one, sort of. Again, I can't say too much, but basically, she had a much more childish demeanor, and so the way that she would cheer everybody up is she would always tell everybody, me, nipa. It has no meaning. She would just say that in an attempt to cheer people up.
Becoming a witch changes you, man.
A lot. If only you knew how nipa things really were, brother. Anyway. Ah, there you are. I wonder where Bern shrank off to. Could she be any more lame? Even so, just like usual, the pieces Bern chooses are pretty shabby. It's the same with chess, right? If all of your pieces were pawns, you would have zero chance to win, right? If all of your pieces were rooks and bishops, you definitely wouldn't lose.
Not true at all, I think.
Well, last time, right when I felt just a little pity and said she could start with her pieces anywhere she wanted, that idiot Bern, without taking notice of my compassion, started with all of her pawns on my side of the board.
That's exactly what I thought the second she said you could start with your pieces anywhere you wanted. I said, why wouldn't you just put all the pawns on the enemy side and then make them all queens?
What's up with that? That wasn't a loss or anything. Just remembering it makes me queasy. Because of that, I won't be able to rest until I see Bern's speechless face. And since you, Bern's piece, oh my gosh, okay, fucked up so bad, I'm feeling just great. Plus, she may not look it, but that girl really hates to lose. So I'll bet she's off somewhere grinding her teeth and crying her eyes out right now.
You know, she seems to show a severe, not Lambda Delta, Bernkastel, she seems to show, like, no emotion compared to the other witches, which are, like, hyper emotional in some way.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Watch Igarashi and you'll kind of sort of figure out why. How totally lame. Oh! Come on, laugh with me. Oh!
In need of correction?
Yeah, but she's a witch, so, wait a sec.
I will simply put all my pawns on her side of the board.
She is a stupid witch. Are you still hugging your knees? You're already like this just because Beato got a little serious?
I'm a human, leave me alone!
Could you be any more pathetic?
Okay, if you keep talking like that, you can not leave me alone.
You're so pathetic. I'll help you just a little bit.
Damn!
I, the great Lady Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty, and the strongest in the universe, will associate myself just a tiny bit with you and your hopeless chances of winning.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Beatrice
Uh-huh.
brought Lambda Delta here to help her
Yep.
fight against Bernkastel.
Mm-hmm.
And within, like, an hour of showing up, Lambda Delta is like, okay, maybe I can help Bernkastel and Battler.
This is the same witch that you just heard the story that she let someone put all their pawns on the other side of the chessboard. She's not very smart.
Oh, Beatrice is just digging right now.
Beatrice did
The last
get
one
the
was
worst
simply,
ally.
Yeah, the last one was simply so easy that now she's like, I gotta handicap myself.
Oh. You should thank me. Oh. You know, Beatrice may really be a cruel and powerful witch, but she's no match for me. Why? Because she's soft. Though she'll set up the board in a way that'll let her win with just a few more moves, she'll intentionally avoid cornering you. She'll do things like take worthless pieces and place excess pieces on the board to make things more one-sided. Simply put, she's got the bad habit of playing around as soon as she thinks she's won. Almost all the various attacks that hurt you and Bern look like utter waste and overkill to me.
Didn't in the first Witch Tea Party, Bernkastel say that Lambda Delta could beat Beatrice? Because wasn't it the rock, paper, scissors thing of Lambda Delta beats Beatrice, Beatrice beats Bernkastel, Bernkastel beats Lambda Delta? Wasn't that how
Yeah.
it worked out?
Yeah.
So you're telling me, earlier when we talked about the how could Beatrice win against someone being too stupid, it's just real.
It is!
And it's Lambda Delta.
Yep. Throw a rock at it. In other words, she's got a weakness, and you've got a chance. See? She isn't an opponent to be afraid of, right?
She's just so stupid. She's just so like, I'm just playing the game, that she can't be afraid of Beatrice. So she wins.
She sometimes mistakes her means for her ends. And she has too much dark fun.
I can agree with that.
Sometimes that even ends up creating and exposing her own weak points.
True, her torturing Rosa did make her not win, because it got Battler to be like, man, this is effed up.
Yep.
I gotta fight this woman.
Yep. For a super powerful witch like me, it's hard to understand why she's able to act so tough. Why she lowers her own chances of winning. But, well, because of that, a witch like Bern, who likes to thoroughly read her opponent, has a really bad affinity with her. Because reading her doesn't work.
Just hit her with a rock.
Maybe it's really easy for Bern to read and handle a straightforward and honest type like me. Annoyingly enough. Boom. Well, still, a super firepower type like me can flat out beat up a light, wide-range barrage type like Beatrice.
Beatrice is AoE, Lambda Delta is DPS.
One is erudition, the other is the hunt.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors.
So what's Bernkastel?
Paper? No, wait. Scissor. If I'm paper, Beato is rock. Which means Bern is scissors. There you go. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Even though my paper loses to Bern's scissors. If I was a sheet of super paper, which is way more awesome than normal paper, I could beat even scissors, right?
Okay, I'm actually starting to like her. This is bad.
She's amazing. Basically, I, Lady Lambda Delta, am super paper. It looks like you've regained a bit of your color. That Beato, she's having fun torturing some piece called Rosa.
Oh, this is before. That's why he's not talking at all, because he's furniture.
Mm-hmm.
This is before that happened. Okay.
At a glance, you'd think she has really nasty tastes, right? Wrong.
What?
She's just killing time, hoping that you'll stand back up and return.
Oh.
It's a move to fire up your righteous indignation by intentionally doing something detestable. Aw, man, I hate kids like that. Anyway, I'll head on back. Don't tell anyone about me helping you out just a little bit. I mean, it's not like I helped you out because I wanted to save you, okay? I, the strongest witch in the universe, had my throne stolen away when I lost to Bern. So I've got to take that throne back from her. But if she loses to Beato here, then it's Beato who'll get the position of strongest next, right?
But you beat Beato, you rock, paper, scissors, so it would just be easy for you to win.
She's super paper. Well, it's not like I'm complaining. It'd be easier to steal the throne back from Beato, but then I wouldn't be satisfied, you see?
That's
See,
why.
she's already got you covered.
Okay.
See? I will defeat Bern. And I'll take back my position as the strongest.
So she's grooming Bernkastel to be even stronger.
Hooray.
She's like Goku wanting to fight the strongest opponent ever.
It's not like I'm really helping you, okay? I won't forgive you if you make Bern cry.
Man, Tsundere really was in season back then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? You remember the 2000s and the 90s when tsunderes were all the rage?
Brother, I wish I was still there so hard. It was one of my favorites.
That's so wild to me because I wasn't a big fan of it back when it was like a thing, and now that it's gone, I'm like, yeah, no, I get the appeal of tsunderes now. I really like
It's
them.
so good.
But they're
so
gone!
Good. They
The
are.
achievement is called I am super paper in all caps.
I am super paper! Oh, the thumbnail lady. That was the thumbnail lady.
I
She's in our
love
thumbnail
her.
today.
I love her. She is so stupid, but in a fun way.
You gotta watch Higurashi. It makes Lambda Delta and Bernkastel's interactions even super better. Oh, I say this while I have a Higurashi wall scroll next to me this whole time. I've been looking at their faces.
Hey, yo.
New background. Okay.
What the hell?
So, we've only actually been going for a little over an hour, which is crazy.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, give me a little bit. Again, I'm hoping we can just get to the island, but we'll see how much time that takes.
All right.
Just throw us on in there. Put us on in that thing. I'm not sure if episode 8 has a...
This story is very obviously fictional, fantastical in nature, and in resemblance to existing individuals, organizations, and locations is entirely coincidental.
You missed, or... Wait, maybe you did get
Oh,
it.
are we gonna get our ears blown out?
I think so.
No,
Oh.
wait, no. Okay.
All right,
Eventually
I'm
we are.
sipping
It's gonna
again.
happen at some point. But
Yeah.
not now. What is this? Where are we? What is happening? The vase, whichever you prefer, was very beautiful, rich, history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was a member of Grandfather's favorite collection, so that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty. I was always given strict orders never to touch it. But that just made me want to touch it. It looked light, and yet so elegant that just glancing at it gave an indescribable sense of dignity. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as Grandfather had said, it was a thing that shouldn't be touched. Something this beautiful should never be touched. Such beauty can only dwell in something so easily broken. Because of that, just the brush of a finger by someone like me would... Just like how a fun dream disappears with a poof when you wake up. It disappeared, fell, and broke into pieces. I realized that, because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not be returned to its original form. Grandfather will probably scold me, probably very harshly. I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing, frightened. As I did, I noticed something beautiful. Lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. As mysteriously glowing golden dots shone in the air, the butterflies began to gather one at a time. Oh, it's Beatrice. Is this Kenzo? Beatrice, that reliable golden witch, had arrived. Huh? The butterflies kept gathering until they formed a cloud. And then, she was there. She was always there for me. Whenever I was in trouble, she'd always appear and save me. Princess? I don't... What is...
So, this character, you're gonna have to do the voice. That's you.
Okay. Let me think. I didn't think I would have to do this so soon.
Start going
And also with a character that I know absolutely nothing about.
Yep. You just have to go off the vibes of her design.
A good day to you, princess.
Oh, okay, so this is actually me. Beatrice! Ah!
Oh my. Why are you crying so, and on a day so well suited for a tea party?
I broke Grandfather's precious vase. Ah, Grandfather's gonna get mad at me. I don't know what to do.
I see. That is worrying. The master really treasured this particular vase, didn't he? Imagining how he'll punish you scares even me, Beatrice.
Grandfather was a very frightening person. And when you failed to follow something he said even once, he would become so mad with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. since I knew that down to my bones I couldn't do anything but tremble and cry.
I possess no magic that can scoop up your fallen tears, Princess. But if you need magic that will prevent the Master from scolding you, I might be able to manage something.
Really?
Yes, if you'll be gracious enough to believe in my power, Princess. The power of belief is the source of magic. Miracles only appear before those of great faith.
I believe. I believe in your power, Beatrice. So please, fix this face. Please.
If that is what you want, Princess, then leave it to me, Beatrice.
When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favorite cane. But even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and awesome magic power. She pointed her cane at the broken vase, and, just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words.
Come, try closing your eyes, and try to remember. What form did you have? It was surely a very, very beautiful form. Please, show me that form one more time.
Were they words? Or was it a song? No, it had to be magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are rapidly gathering together, gently returning to the place where they'd been on display, reassembling into their original form.
Incredible.
See? Now, it's back to normal. This way, you won't have to get yelled at by the Master.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Yeah?
Sorry.
Where
it's
the
a
heck
bad
are
habit.
we?
Beatrice, you really are amazing. You can fix broken vases like it's nothing.
That's not true. Returning something broken to its original form is a very, very difficult thing to do. My magic can only make it remember what it once was for a short time.
Huh? But the vase really turned back to the way it was, right?
Correct. But that doesn't mean the vase has avoided its fate of being broken. All I did was temporarily get the broken vase to remember its form before it broke. I have not yet attained the high levels of magical power that might be used to restore a broken fate to its original form. At that time, the high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere and had climbed up on the vase, causing it to break. I understood the meaning of Beatrice's words. At the moment I broke the vase was broken. Beatrice let me see the vase being restored, but that was a temporary thing. It didn't mean she'd changed the fate of the vase being broken. And so, the vase remembered its true fate and broke. However, the one who broke it wasn't me, but a cat that had snuck in. That's right. Beatrice never said, "Let's fix the vase." She said she'd prevent the Master from scolding me. The fate of the vase breaking hasn't changed, but the fact that I broke it certainly has. Beatrice cleverly saved me from danger with that magic. It is very easy to break something.
After all, you didn't need magic to break that vase, Princess.
Then, is fixing stuff really hard?
It is. It's so hard that you broke down crying, unsure of what to do.
Does that mean magic is easier to use when doing terrifying things? That breaking and killing is really easy, but fixing and reviving things is really hard?
That's right. With magic, it is far easier to break and kill. That's why weak witches lose to temptation and become intoxicated with gathering easy power for themselves, neglecting their true magical training. Real magic is the power to repair, to revive, to summon happiness that has disappeared, to summon love that has grown cold. And it can even summon a smile to the face of a princess who has forgotten how.
Then, Beatrice, since you managed to fix that vase, does that mean you're an incredible witch?
My days of training are far from over. After all, I couldn't make the vase forget its fate for even an hour. I'm sure my teacher who taught me magic would have been able to restore the vase to its original form forever.
So, if it kept breaking and breaking, she'd be able to fix it over and over again?
Yes. When one reaches that level, they are considered to be an endless witch. That is the endless level that all witches ought to reach. We offer the utmost respect to those witches and call them by that title.
An endless witch.
That's right. To witches with the power to mend things endlessly, the concept of breaking doesn't even exist. They are released from all the sadness caused by losing things and are promised eternal bliss. Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to gods and ask for the power to withstand their sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey, searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all...
Oh my gosh.
Took me long enough. All things would be freed from all sadness in the world. Simply put, that would mean eternal bliss.
I wonder if I could become a witch like you and gain eternal happiness.
You, princess? It is a long, long, difficult path, you see?
I want to become a witch. I want to find happiness. Beatrice, I want to become your disciple.
Do you have even a trace of doubt in that feeling?
No, I want to become a witch too.
I understand. Then, until you get tired of me, I will make you my disciple. Will you call me teacher?
Yes, teacher.
That's a good answer. Then, from now on, learn the depths of magic along with me. I am also in training. Let us both learn the proper use of magic, doing our best to reach that blissful level.
Yes, teacher. Gray.
My theory right now is that Beatrice is the namesake for our current Beatrice, and the princess is our current Beatrice.
Yeah?
That's what I got in my head right now.
Okay. A dream. That face takes me back.
Oh, that pretty much confirms it. An endless witch, was it? That rank I'd yearned for in the past as the highest possible achievement was now just another one of my titles. You can take it from here.
Okay. No, you might even call it my calling card. Every once in a while, being called that can be quite satisfying. I trained so many days to achieve that rank. It'd be a bit of a waste if I never got a chance to appreciate it.
She shook her head lightly. If it's the highest possible level, that means there's nothing higher. An eternal dead end. The beginning of eternal boredom.
I remember what teacher told me. When one is released from all sadness, it is the same as eternal bliss.
She was a European princess.
That's what makes me think that teacher couldn't ever have reached that level.
You or me?
Still me? I don't know.
I'm assuming right now that Beatrice is narrating as well, but I'll go for it.
You take
sure.
it, and if we see an I or a me, I'll take it.
Okay. Eternal bliss means eternal boredom. And that's the beginning of eternal torture. But it all depends on how you look at it. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want, can try to have as much fun as you want. Boredom is the worst sort of poison, which kills all witches. Even those great witches who are given the title Lady fear it. It's the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss they've reached.
Now that I've earned the name of Endless Witch, I truly wish I could speak with teacher again. Is happiness really what lay at the end of our training? And just what is happiness? I wish I could talk with her about that now.
No way, Beatrice is in that seminar I'm taking right now about what happiness is. Training has no end. When you think you've reached the eternal level, that's exactly the time to bemoan your own immaturity.
I recalled those words as though she'd answered me directly. I see. So I'm immature, am I?
Yes.
How amusing. How truly amusing. Boink.
The sound of painfully shrill laughter rang out. It was coming. Oh.
Oh, it was coming from my furniture. What? Did they break their toy again?
Which one of this is us?
I'm looking. Beelzebub is me.
Okay. That's right, I'm Satan.
Beatrice Summer. Yeah. This guy stopped moving again.
Me?
That's a new one. That's you. Wait, that's me. I have too many of these. Okay, you're just getting a funny voice then. And I haven't had nearly enough fun yet.
Dang!
What a pathetic man.
Or she'd talk to me like that. Me?
That's you. That's you.
Ha, that's funny. It's got my name in it.
True.
But I haven't gotten a chance to play at all yet. Let me play. Let me play.
Be silent, filth. If you keep devouring him like starving dogs, of course he'll keep breaking right away, no matter how well Beatrice-sama fixes him up.
She's mad. Oh. That'd be me. I think that's all of them.
You
Though.
should look at me like that.
What? You broke him the most, Satane. You just don't know what holding back means.
Tummy.
Oh,
You're Lucifer, I remember that. Because Lucifer was the first one to come out, right? Or am I crazy?
I'm looking. I think this is another new one.
Okay,
I
never
I
mind.
had Asmodeus. was
Oh,
mine.
okay. Okay, so I'm Lucifer. I'm Lucifer and
Yeah.
Satan. Wow.
Crazy.
I'm pride and wrath.
I'm a lot of the other ones.
My apologies, Beatrice-sama. Please forgive my stupid little sisters.
There you are.
Fix him quickly. I'm next. I'm next. Ah, must you keep up that infernal racket?
Get it? Because they're all demons. A single yell was all it took to make the noisy Sisters of the Seven Stakes vanish. Dang, what a name.
Yep.
All they do is mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him.
Oh, here we go. They only come to me to clean up afterwards. Truly, this furniture never leaves me bored.
Once the furniture hid themselves, all that remained was a sloppy mess, the last remnants of a broken toy. You can call me a sloppy mess any day. It had no
Whoa.
form anymore. I would hope so, after they're done with me.
Can't. It's hard even for me to remember its original form in this state. Better to make it remember for itself, perhaps. Oh well. I waved my golden pipe. Then I spoke. I chanted. I made it remember. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? After all, right now, you pretty much look like a huge lump of scrap meat. I have no idea which part is your arm and which is your leg. Unless you remember, I won't even be able to recall your face.
Please tell me it's Goro. I wouldn't think it's Badler because of what happened in the Tea Party, but maybe they're also like just being weird. By the power of magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. Which part should go with which part, and where should join with where? You. That's right, just like that. No. You should be a finger on the left hand. That's the right hand.
Yeah, that's it. Good. Good morning. Have you woken up, Ushiromiya Battler?
Oh, it is Badler.
How ironic that your true nightmare begins after you awaken.
Put me in again. I wasn't done yet.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah. Ugh. Ow.
If you will just accept that I am a witch, you'll quickly wake up from this nightmare, and I'll send you to heaven. I am the king of Mount Purgatory. There's no escape from this hell without my approval.
You call this hell? That's just useless. Oh, it's all useless.
Holy moly. I'm impressed you can still talk like that after experiencing the pain of death not once, like any normal human, but more times than I could count with all of my fingers. This is why I never get bored. I never get bored of you.
Yeah, no boredom problem here. After all, I get my pick of those massive technicians with the dazzling asses in my harem.
Holy cow.
Thanks to that, I'm not likely to get bored for a while now.
I told you that's his attitude. I wasn't lying with the put me back in.
I thought you were just talking from your own heart.
No, I am Battler pilled. Put me back in, coach. I wasn't done with him.
That's splendid. Otherwise, I would get bored too. So, my furniture, I fixed him so you can play as much as you want. Oh gosh. You were the man. Thank you very much. All mine.
I told you! Your turn's over. I'm next. Get away from him! Ah!
Wonderful, isn't it, Battler-kun?
Correct, madam.
Look how popular you are.
My popular phase.
The popular guys have it rough. Get in line, freaks.
Me.
Yep.
If you just stayed obedient instead of acting tough, this would go much easier. Also me.
Yep. I only got 2, brother. And one. Oh, wait, no, I've got 3.
He's good like this. His screams feel so much better.
Okay, let's not break him so quickly this time. Did you all hear me? You aren't running this show. Battler-kun, let's continue where we left off, okay? After they locked Jessica-chan's room with the master key, how did they return the key to the corpse's pocket, which was inside the room? Well, maybe. That's it. They used a fishing line or something, sending just the key into the room through the crack of the door.
Wrong. So naive. Of all of the doors that exist on Rokinjima, none has a crack through which a key can slip.
He was wrong, right? Right? Okay, this time it's me, my turn. Where should I strike?
Me, back of the hand. No fair.
Why is the only exposed part of the screen a coochie shot right now?
Oh, you'll see. Okay, then I've got the back of his other hand.
I'll take the tip of his nose. Why? Why? Let me do it too. Let me strike too. Why? Don't be so slow, Levine. We've always done first come, first serve. Okay, I'll take the top of his foot. Wah! Me too, me too. I'll take his shoulder, okay? You're sisters, right? Play nice with each other, okay? Ah!
I can't believe you are still resisting.
I can't believe he is too.
Why haven't you realized that your false courage actually gets us fired up?
Ah, he's doing it on purpose. It's foreplay.
Sorry, but
It's a knife play.
false courage and being stubborn are my specialties. No matter how you try to diffuse the issues. I definitely won't accept witches and magic. Even though you can't explain anything with human tricks? Are you stupid? Know your place. It's okay. We don't have to force him to accept it. Soon, he'll want to accept it so hard he'll start crying. Even now, he really wants to kneel down on the ground pitifully and beg our forgiveness.
Oh, he's broken already. Beatrice-sama. Ah, well. Since they know I can revive him over and over, my furniture won't even hesitate to break him. Good grief.
Giving eternal rebirth and eternal death at will. Before the endless witch Beatrice, all death and life has no meaning. Even death can't become the key to escape from my cage. Is that my cage as in Battler's my cage, or my cage as in Beatrice's my cage?
Oh. Come, battler. Remember your original form again. I'll toy with you to my heart's content. Understand? I see. How truly pleasant to have a toy to play with for all eternity. Ah, could this be the endless bliss witches gain at the endless level? I see. Yes, this bliss certainly is amusing. I'll revive you over and over, kill you over and over. Let's see what kind of murder play will unfold on the next game board. Come, bring it in. Let the next game begin, Ushiromiya battler.
There we go,
gosh.
there it is.
Yep.
It was gonna happen at some point. Oh my god.
7th expansion presents
7th expansion presents.
Despicable Me 4. I love this part. I love seeing the old art in this. No!
What?
It's raining.
Yeah, there's a typhoon.
There he is?
Didn't that Nazi tell you?
No?
Dang.
Great Kinzo. Let's see what tricks Beatrice has in store this time.
Let's see what aid we might receive from Lambda Delta and Bernkastel this time.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I was wrong. Okay.
We're skipping the plane.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I'll go through it. I'll go through another chapter. And then I'll probably have to call it. Let me sip up. Let me sip real quick.
How long have we been going?
Almost 2 hours, so it hasn't even quite been 2.
Okay.
So I'll give it another, break.
Okay.
Okay. Dang. Too bad Aneki hates cigarettes so much.
Sorry. She's been pretty grumpy since last night. Please don't hold it against her.
Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Ava had always hated the smell of cigarettes, But when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. When they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island, the two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. It is the 80s. This is back before people had the decency to not smoke around others.
True. It's crazy, but it's crazy to think, but in at least my lifetime, and maybe yours as well, there were some restaurants in our hometown that still didn't have a separate smoking and non-smoking section when we were
Really?
kids. Yes. I found this out from my mother recently. We were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, there was one restaurant in town that didn't have a separate section until 2005.
Wow, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know.
Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but the strong winds gave him some trouble. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame.
Hey. What's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo?
I feel like the entire reason we played Umineko was an elaborate setup for this moment.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
One's a little lighter.
Alright guys, stream's over. We're done for today. We'll see you next time. No.
Oh, sorry. I had to do that. Had to do that one. That's a classic. Okay. When did you start smoking cigarettes, Hideyoshi Nissan?
Just after the war. In the beginning, I was rolling them. Then I started using what I sold.
So you were already smoking when you met Aneki. Bet she's already telling you to stop. Always.
I never listened to her. So she's already completely given up on that. Men gotta be stubborn times like these. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Eva, they'd escaped to the deck together, with their tails between their legs. There was little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange. She isn't usually so short-tempered. In fact, she's usually a more gentle, quiet woman. Every year, she changes when this day comes.
Is that so? To me, she looks just like the Aneki we've all known so long.
That's just it. She's back to being Eva of the Ushiromiya family. But that ain't the Eva I know.
Well, I know why she's grumpy. This family conference is gonna be a pain.
Got that right. There's that plan to threaten money out of Kraus Nissan. We may call it a family conference, but it's gonna be just a sibling fight at this rate. Before the family conference, 3 of the siblings had made a secret pact without Kraus. What? They were all facing urgent situations and needed a lot of money fast.
Close.
And the only one they could turn to was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushiromiya head now that Kenzo spent his time shut up in his study. For a long time now, they'd vaguely sensed that Kraus was taking advantage of the fact that Kenzo had lost interest in his own wealth, and they suspected that he'd started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purposes. Despite being disgusted by this, they'd turned a blind eye to it while everything was still going smoothly for them. But now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let it slide. Eva had asked Rudolph and Rosa to form an alliance, and they were now scheming to take that money away from Kraus. Rudolph-kun, both you and I are company presidents. We're responsible for the livelihood of our employees.
Rose is a president, too. Well, as a hobby.
Dang. That makes us sound more successful. That's right. Sorry. Basically, we've all got responsibilities.
Now that I've thrown down the gauntlet in front of the executive board, I've got to bring in the money, even if it means getting down on my knees or drinking mud.
Dad.
Yeah, like a dog.
Same here. I can't betray the employees who've trusted me and followed me for so long. That's why I need to get some money out of Kraus Nissan, even if I have to grab him by the neck.
Neki and Aniki have always been at each other's throats. And now she's got to challenge Aniki head on. It's no wonder she's on edge.
So, Ava really has had a bad relationship with Kraus Nissan since long ago?
Hasn't she talked about it? They were always at each other's throats.
She never talks about the past, even if I ask. She probably doesn't want to remember.
Oh,
Oh.
she's always been brainy and shrewd. Her grades were good too. Compared to that, Aniki was just average. The simple fact she existed would have been pressure enough, but she kept boasting about it and driving him into a corner.
That fool. Why drive him into a corner so openly? I'd hardly call that shrewd.
No kidding. Aniki regretted being born a woman. So, she probably couldn't forgive Aniki since he was chosen to succeed the head just because he was a man. She'd always boast to Dad, letting him see that she was better at every little thing.
Father really is an old-fashioned person. Gender discrimination was part of his system of values. I bet Ava's eagerness to prove herself made him dislike her a bit.
I'm assuming this is going to be the Ava episode, considering we're getting so much setup for Ava.
Nuh-uh. Rudolph's been talking.
That would be a good bait and switch.
Wouldn't you say... Oh, God. Remember that thing you said earlier about...
What?
About things
What?
that we would never say otherwise?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah?
I like him.
I like him young. Oh. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar in black tea?
Oh my gosh, Levi, why did you say that?
God. The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing.
Somehow that's worse than just the first sentence.
Yeah. That was such a bad statement.
That's so awful. I can't.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't think Krause has been, like, outwardly sexist the 2 episodes before this. It's just been him being an asshole, but not sexist. But that was just sexist.
That was bad. But anyway.
Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, he was in effect saying that there was no need for women to study. Those infuriating words were what Nissan hurled at me in my despair. Oh, is this Natsuhi? Not Natsuhi.
No.
Ava.
Yeah.
When I asked to go to college only to be denied by father. Dang! Well, it is Japan in the 80s. I was about to say, even if it's the 80s, that's still kind of conservative for the 80s. But it's Japan in the 80s, not the US.
Yeah, I can't say for certain the difference between them, but I do know historically Japan's always been a few decades behind us in terms of like those kinds of norms.
Do you want to read this, or should I continue?
I'll take it. I'll take it. That'll be our rule. If it's a character, if the narration says I or me, or an otherwise obvious thing such as cackle.
Yeah.
Okay. I protested that I needed to build up proper dignity and an education as the oldest daughter in the Ushiromiya family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, Father's and Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I've never taken the Ushiromiya name lightly, not once since I was born into it. And I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiromiya Kinzo, lightly. Our family is an old one, with many traditions. But it lost its wealth and businesses in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. That was when Father took control with his ingenious talent, reviving it to be even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of that great Ushiromiya Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiromiya family. Schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach Father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time.
Should have wanted to become a witch. Then he would have loved
This is just Succession, the HBO show, which I have thoughts about it, meaning not good ones, but that's neither here nor there. However, in the end, Father never acknowledged my efforts. To Father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. When was it that I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years. But I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly accept it. Compared to me, you couldn't have said that Kraus, my older brother of 2 years, worked hard at all to become deserving of the Ushiromiya family name. He told me many times since my early childhood that he would naturally succeed Father simply because he was born a man. He kept on repeating that, as though it formed an uncrossable gap between us. I couldn't stand it. Even though I always got better grades than Nissan. Even though I became class president when he never managed more than vice president. Even so, Nissan was considered to be the appropriate successor to the Ushiromiya family just because he was a man. Of course, you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in that era.
True, this also would not have been the 80s. This would have been like the 60s.
Yeah. During that despicable time, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents. When she gets married, she obeys her husband. And when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, I eventually realized that all of my efforts had been doomed from the beginning.
And that's when she went sicko mode and got her silver tongue.
She killed 50 people.
It's making me say it again?
Yes. Yes. Right into the camera.
God
Right into the microphone.
damn it. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar in black tea? The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing.
Whoa, old art. What do you mean by that, Nissan?
Just as there are roles that only men can fill, there are also roles that can only be filled by women, correct? I do believe giving birth to children, raising them, and supporting the master of the house are roles that can only be filled by women.
Are you trying to say there's no need for a woman to work or study?
I wouldn't go that far. Talking to an unschooled woman is tiring, and nothing more. However, women are even more tiring when they're too smart, like my future wife. I do believe that a woman as violently as assertive as you, sorry, I put in too many as's there,
True.
as violently assertive as you would bring no end of hardship to her future husband.
If only you knew.
Oh, he's hard, all right.
Are you trying to say that a woman has to marry and hide in the shadow of her husband? That's none of your business. Doink.
Though you're my younger sister, I can look up to you for the respect you hold for father and your desire to become a daughter worthy of him. Even I am capable of feeling respect for such noble sentiments.
That's just disgusting. What's this about noble sentiments? I'd call that flowery prose coming from you. Are you pretending to be the head already?
The decision that I should succeed the headship has been established from the very beginning. And yet, you seem to be laboring under the illusion that you might become the head. Hence the useless and reckless efforts you've expended thus far.
Reckless efforts? Is it really that bizarre for me to say I want to go to college?
Yes, it is bizarre. You undoubtedly are the oldest daughter of the glorious Ushiromiya family. One day, you will support that family crest by being wed to the partner most valuable for father. However, excessive learning is not what's being asked of you. What you need are gentle feelings that will allow you to care for your husband, the ability to handle housework, and a humble demeanor that will reflect well on the master of your household. These are all skills you lack, utterly. In the end, can you really call yourself a suitable daughter of the Ushiromiya family?
I have no intention of being some secluded lady. I just want to become the person most capable of assisting father at his work.
Then shouldn't you do so in a manner befitting an Ushiromiya family daughter? What is it with you? You're still mannish, even at your age, and you've never learned how to wear makeup in a way that will please men, much less how to cook and do housework. I hear you've even been learning how to brawl. Oh my god, Ava was a tomboy. My entire vision about her has changed.
You know? What happens to a tomboy when they get old? They become a CEO.
Dang!
That's rude!
The tomboy to CEO pipeline.
The martial arts aren't brawling, they're a perfect way to train and discipline the mind. And when it's needed, I take more than enough care to act as a woman should. What are you trying to say? That women should be slaves who work for men, so I mustn't be so forward?
It isn't elegant to say it out loud. Oh my god. But I think a few unpleasant words are necessary in order to correct your mistake. So let me say it plainly. Women exist to serve men. And men exist to provide for women. A woman's job is to protect a man's back, to protect his house and raise his children. Most women realize this without being told. They realize it on their own. But even after all these years, you still haven't realized that about yourself. So I've decided to clear away that misunderstanding for you before you leave this family. You ought to thank me.
This is an insult to all women! No, wait. I've never thought of myself as a woman, and I've never depended on anyone because I'm a woman. How am I inferior to you, Nissan? In grades and accomplishments, in everything, I'm better. So how can you look down on me when you have nothing I lack except the fact that you're a man?
It's about knowing one's place. Every day I have been raised with the readiness of one who will be the head. In the future, that preparation will surely become essential. But you are different. Even though you will marry and lose the Ushiromiya family name, you're being trapped by this unnecessary illusion. What's your complaint? Even if you had been born a man, the successor to the headship still probably wouldn't have been you. Why are you so unsatisfied that you insist on attacking me, even now?
What's my complaint, you say? Nissan, you're always like that. Looking down on me because you'll succeed the head. Even though Oh. What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them. Grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget kept floating through the back of my mind. They all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Papa's here.
Yep. What's all this
This is
noise?
the first time we've seen him interact with his kids.
True,
It's in a flashback.
And I have a feeling it's not going to be a good interaction.
Probably not. No, he's probably got the belt off already.
Yep. What do you mean by that?
That's what I mean by that.
God isn't the only one who holds silence as a virtue.
Father.
Father!
He'd probably
He-
overheard our sibling fight. Yeah,
Excuse you.
it could have been
It
me.
said
I'm
our.
Kraus.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead then.
Father entered with a clearly unhappy face.
Kraus, are you fighting with your siblings again? Why don't you have the dignity to act as a leader for your brother and sisters? How shameful. I'm embarrassed to hear this from my eldest son.
In a flash, he
Oh.
struck Kraus's face. Oh, that's you.
True. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
My apologies, Father.
Dignity isn't the only thing you lack. There's much more. You are immature in everything. And even so, you pretend like you're an adult. Realize that it's 100 years too early for you to talk like that and devote yourself to your studies. Don't make me lament my son's incompetence anymore.
Yes. I will continue to strive so that I can become a person worthy of succeeding you, Father.
Yeah. It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by Father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special. About how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it, and finally spoke what was on my mind. Even though I realized that it would be improper for a member of the Ushiromiya family to do such a thing. Father, please tell me how I'm inferior to him. I've tried so hard, studied so hard to become a person who won't bring shame to your name. Please tell me how I'm inferior. How can I improve myself enough to earn your acknowledgement? That again? How many times do I have to say it before you'll understand? I expect nothing from you. Women should be women and just learn how to cook and sew. You aren't prepared at all as a woman. In you, I don't see a trace of the mindset needed to serve one's husband, to earnestly devote oneself to a man's needs. What good are you as a woman? Don't you realize that you're a daughter of the Ushiromiya family? And yet, you only want to learn things so that you can act like a man. Your duty is not to imitate Kraus. Don't you even understand your own duty? As a member of the Ushiromiya family, I won't bring shame to your name. That's it. That's where you're already wrong. Your duty is to marry out of the family and bring me a man who is profitable to me. And then you will devote yourself to your husband, give birth to children, and multiply. Be a good wife who brings praise to your husband's family. Just what is it that you can do to please a man? Do you think you can make tea? Do you have any talent in cooking? You have nothing. All you've done is to try and mimic Kraus, haven't you? Kraus will succeed the Ushiromiya family. If you are unsatisfied with that, then you are disobeying me. Are you saying you'll refuse to listen to what I say, even though you're my daughter? Get out! You're disinherited. I won't let you call yourself an Ushiromiya. Disinherited! Disinherited!
Father, hang in there. Please, calm down. Genji-san, could you bring some water? Yes. Immediately. Eva, leave this place. He doesn't mean what he says. I will calm him down.
Disinherited! If you won't listen to me, you're disinherited! True. My father was coughing pretty badly, and Nissan patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty all for himself right then. If I carelessly approached father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I fearlessly tried to approach father's back. Genji blocked me.
Eva-sama, perhaps it would be better if you stepped outside for now. The master is not in a good mood today.
Why are my children so incompetent? Kraus is lacking in dignity. Eva is always a stubborn tomboy.
He said it!
I have no son who's like a man, and not even a daughter who's like a woman. Where did I go wrong raising them? Why, Genji? When and where did I go wrong?
And then Rudolph becomes a son who's really like a man because he keeps chasing tail. And
But not like a man because he keeps chasing tail.
Rosa becomes too much like a woman. It's your
Because-
Kenzo can't win.
True. It's true.
Master, you haven't done anything wrong. Kraus-sama has grown into a sturdy son, and Eva-sama into a lovely daughter. You haven't made any mistakes.
How can you say that? What's so lovely about her? Far from a lady, she's always acting like a man. Disinherited! Disinherited!
Father, that's just what I'm always telling Eva. Eva has promised that she will have a change of heart and act like a lady. Couldn't you postpone that decision for just a little longer?
Who's a lady? Disinherited! Disinherited!
Who?
What?
Oh,
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah. Go quickly and leave this to me. Kraus gave me a look telling me that. You know, the more we play this, the more I sympathize with Genzo. No. He's been truing the whole time. Did I take the wrong path? Just like Father and Nissan said? True, I never studied how to be a lady. Everything I've learned was done in the hopes that I could help Father someday.
Sorry, I'm taking a drink.
Ah! Ooh, moonshot. Yeah. But, is that really true? Haven't I always been trying to compete with Nissan, with whom I've had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? Because I wanted to steal his position as a successor and show him a thing or two? Every chance he gets, Nissan tells me that men should be manly and women should be womanly. I've been tormented by this unfair discrimination just because of my gender, something people are born with and can't do anything about. I resisted, endeavoring to this very day to study and prove that I'm not inferior, despite being a woman. But doesn't that mean my love of learning comes entirely from a stupid complex I've got against Nissan? Father wanted me to become a lady with whom he could go out in public and not be embarrassed. Did I betray his hopes, earning good grades and threatening Nissan just to satisfy a childhood resentment? Oh.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Okay, this is gonna be weird and hard.
I am, yeah.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Give me a second. This is a lot. That's not it. You swore to me saying, I will become the successor to the Ushiromiya family.
What is happening?
You, the one whispering to me, was the me of my years as a young girl, born inside my heart on the day I made that oath. That's right. She was my only ally.
It's the fucking witch.
When things got difficult, when I felt like I was about to get crushed by it all, she would always quietly appear and support me. When I ran into roadblocks and despaired, she would always appear and support me. When I grew up and the memories of my childhood years faded, I also started to forget my conversations with her. I, Ushiromiya Eva, will definitely become the head of the Ushiromiya family. And I'll triumph over that irritating, arrogant Kraus. On that day, we promised to do our best together to achieve that. That's right. We promised. This is... I know the story, and this is hurting my head. On that day, I promised that I would become the successor of the Ushiromiya headship. On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared from inside me and lent me your strength. Father didn't accept me. I wanted to teach Nissan a lesson. I believed that doing this would let me say goodbye to the wretched creature I once was. For a time, I truly believed that my life had no purpose other than to be looked down upon by Nissan. It's painful just remembering those days. They're a wound, a crack inside my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I turned my anger into effort and improved myself, trying to become a person more worthy of the headship than Kraus was, trying to triumph over him by making Father accept me. It was my perfect revenge. I was vaguely aware that a woman couldn't possibly become the family head. But I thought that maybe, if I could prove myself valuable enough to overturn that premise, then surely even Father would select me to be his successor. If that happened, then I'd be able to have the greatest and most perfect revenge against Nissan, who always acted like his succession to the headship was completely inevitable. That's right. If we can manage that, the wounds in our heart will be healed. We promised each other to do our best until that day comes. I don't know which one it is. I think it's the younger one. And now that you're saying you're going to break that promise? Scum. Oh yeah, it's definitely the younger one. Coward. If only you'd just give up and die. Even though she looked like me as a kid, she was still another me. Her tongue was sharp because it was mine. It makes me pretty mad hearing that, even from myself.
Beat her up.
You have no right to speak of me like that. Then let's use that anger to fuel our learning. Changing anger into power is my magic.
Hey, fucking magic.
I've saved you from a bunch of tight spots with that power, letting you to succeed when you shouldn't have. As long as you have my magic, there's nothing you can't do. That's right. Anger has always been my driving force. I wonder when it was I forgot that. If you can remember me again, that magic will become ours once more. Come on, Let's turn that anger into power and study even harder, okay?
What is happening?
I know we've still got a lot to learn. Let's go to college, study more and more, get excellent grades, and drive Kraus into a corner. That guy acts like we're nothing, but I'm sure he feels pretty well cornered in the inside. If only he'd just learn his place and die. If he did, we could become the head. Rudolph won't take the job. That kid can't go against us. Stop that. No matter how much more I study, Father still won't accept me. Why not? Father told me to be womanly. Because I'm a woman, no matter how hard I tried, Father wouldn't have passed the headship on to me, even if I had been born before Nissan. No matter how much effort I put in, I can't become anything more than a woman. I won't be acknowledged. Nissan doesn't try at all, but I can't surpass him. He'll look down on me forever. Father and Kraus are the worst kind of male supremacists. If only they'd just die. She cursed them for my sake. Words that I couldn't say so easily, she said for me. Even though I understand that she's just another part of myself inside of me, I feel like she's the only ally I have who can sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might do a lot to calm my heart, it won't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she can only console me for however long it takes me to be dejected by reality, before I finally accept it. Thank you. You've done enough. Now that it's come to this, I'll become such a good lady that it'll shock even Father. I'll find an excellent man that Nissan can't even compare to. You can't do that! Ugh. She rejected my timid thoughts. I understand. Because she is me, I understand. All Father said was that he won't let a woman succeed the headship now. But even that's just a rule Father made up. Since he made it, he can get rid of it. Human feelings can change far more often than the number of sand grains on a beach. Kraus is such a stupid man that Father's eventually gonna realize it, even if we don't prove it for him. When that happens, the wall that separates man from woman will be demolished by Father himself, who set it up in the first place. That day will surely come. How can you be so sure? Because that's my magic. If you just believe, this magic will surely summon a miracle. The basis of my magic is nothing more than your believing heart. Ugh. If I use this magic, then surely I'll never have to doubt until the day I die that I'll eventually become the head. But I don't know if that's the right thing for Ushiromiya Eva. Maybe I should aim to become the kind of lady Father wants. Someone who can proudly participate in high society. And if I'm reborn, maybe Father will change his opinion of me. Maybe I can find my own lifestyle just as Nissan has found his. And anyway, I just can't imagine my stubborn father choosing a woman like me as the head. Especially if it means skipping over Kraus. You don't believe? I was just thinking. Maybe I can't succeed the headship, but as a woman, I can have a child, and Nissan still isn't engaged. If Nissan isn't able to father a child, and I gave birth to one, then wouldn't that make my child the next head after Nissan? In other words, wouldn't that mean the same thing as stealing the headship from Nissan? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. True, it'll be very sad to abandon the resolve I've had since childhood. It pains my heart to betray you, my younger self. But this is my most realistic option. Are you throwing away your dreams? And me as well? I'm not throwing anything away. I'm an adult, and the day has come for me to part ways with you. That's right. Ava's already become an adult. She's even forgotten how to use magic. And now she's the mother of a single child. She forgot all about how magic can grant one's own dreams, and now she's forcing those dreams onto her son. Even though Father and Kraus ruined your life, you're trying to push your dreams onto your son, ruining his life. Is that what you call being an adult? George is a son I'm proud of, one who won't embarrass himself no matter where he goes. The dream I wasn't granted might come true for George. Jessica's a delinquent in both her grades and her behavior. And she's a woman. If only Jessica would step down, George would become the heir. Even saying it was painful. Am I just forcing my own regrets onto George? It's not like I have any right to look on Jessica with scorn. Wasn't I just horrible for hitting her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering? I understand. I understand. The desire to triumph over my brother is part of my own personal revenge. I can't use George for that. So I'll take revenge myself. I have a plan to cheat Nissan out of some of his money with Rudolph and Rosa as my allies. I'll surely be able to get back at him. In any case, I'm sure that Nissan is embezzling Father's assets. What a boring plan. Why don't you just give up on that and cry yourself to sleep? Ugh. We will become the Ushiromiya family head. Don't mistake what your dream is. And believe me when I say it'll definitely come true. Believe in my magic. If I believe, I wonder if any power will dwell in that magic. It will. My magic can grant any wish with certainty. I'll believe. I'll believe. So create a miracle with that magic. If you don't, the hole in my heart will never heal. Okay. Then listen well. Listen to my magic words. And understand. If we can solve the riddle, we can become the Ushiromiya family head. So lend me your ears and listen carefully. Me still? Probably. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the Golden Land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. Okay, it's getting yada yada.
Kyrie jump scare?
Kyrie jump scare.
Oh gosh.
There you go.
Eva-ne-san, it looks like we're about to arrive.
When Kyrie shook her shoulders, Eva jumped and awoke from her doze.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was half asleep.
Sorry to scare you.
And Eva, you were out cold. Did you get up early this morning?
Maybe. I let you all see something embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Well, I'd say it's pretty impressive you were relaxed enough to sleep. Battler kept yelling, "We're gonna fall! We're gonna drown!" Can't get bored with this guy around. Shut up! All humans have at least one thing they're weak against.
Battler and Jessica came in, messing around. Rudolph also made a face, as if asking, "Are you okay?"
Get a hold of yourself. When you see Dad and the rest, all that sleepiness will go right out the window. Let's all give it our best, okay? That's right. We have to keep it together, especially this year.
Out of all the siblings, it seems like the ones with a slightly amicable relationship are Rudolph and Eva. Out of all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. I was thinking if any other pairing works. Not really. Maybe Rudolph and Rosa, but I don't think so. Anyway.
Rosa hates him. He might not hate her, but Rosa hates him.
No. That's it. Let's all tighten our assholes and go.
Rudolph said these strict words in a small voice that only Ava could hear. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. All of their companies were hanging in the balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Ava's expression probably looked tense as well.
Holy, wait a minute. It's been a minute for this feller, too.
Yeah.
Mom, I have our luggage. Let's go up onto the deck. Thank you. You really are considerate, George. Why are you thanking me so suddenly? It's not like you, Mother.
Ava, George, we're there. Grab our luggage.
Ooh, we're there! We're there!
Hey, Maria! Stop running or you'll trip.
It seemed Maria was already getting excited. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her.
What is it, Mother? Do you feel sick?
George, take our luggage and go on ahead. Your mother's probably feeling anemic, so I'll lend her a hand.
Really? Okay, I'll head out first.
Something odd in Ava's expression told Hideyoshi that it hadn't been a pleasant awakening, so he made George go on ahead. Rudolph's family and Rosa's family also went up onto the deck, leaving only Ava and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Ava had a vague expression on her face, as though she still hadn't been able to escape from her daydream. What's wrong? Why the meek face?
I wonder if I'm using George as a tool for my own revenge. I wonder if my childish hostility towards Nissan has caused me to treat that child's life like a toy. Ah, what have I done? What have I...
That isn't true. George is our wonderful son, and he'll always perform admirably wherever he goes. Ava, even if you let your own hopes get in the way a bit, everything turned out okay in the end, hasn't it? You haven't done anything wrong. In fact, George is grateful for the strict discipline you gave him, right?
Really? Hey, really? George doesn't think I'm a terrible mother, does he? Does he? Does he? Does he?
He's never said anything like that, not even once. You're just worrying too much.
Wow, you also, it's been a while. Hideyoshi-sama, everyone has left the boat. Oh, did you lose something? Do you need a hand?
Kumasawa had come to check on them when they hadn't gone up to the deck. Hideyoshi hid Ava behind his back so that her expression wouldn't be seen. Yeah, sorry. My necktie pin just got a bit crooked. We're fine, and we'll be out in a sec. Wait outside for us.
Is that so? Ho ho ho. Then I will wait outside.
Even though she didn't really understand, Kumasawa realized that something had come up, and disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If they stayed here any longer, they would probably make everyone else worry too. It's about time to go. We'll make George and the rest worry.
George really doesn't despise me?
Yeah, nothing of the sort. In fact, he's very grateful. Did you have a nightmare? Again?
Yes.
Hideyoshi knew that Eva was often tormented by nightmares, and they always grew more marked on the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Eva's relationship with Kraus was still full of antagonism to the point of being traumatic, and that she still couldn't let go of the feelings she had as a child. That was a dream. I'm with you now. If I grasp your hand like this, that dream will go away. Right? Look, I'm holding tight.
That hurts. Thank you. I'm fine now. Let's get off the boat.
Yeah. Let's get off the boat. Everyone's waiting for us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I yelled at you about the smoke from your cigarettes just now.
Oh, come on. You normally wouldn't apologize for that sort of thing. You're all frail after having that dream. Don't worry about it. I was wrong for not realizing that the smoke was affecting you.
Have you started to hate me?
No way, no way. If I hated you after something like that, we wouldn't have lasted 3 days. Come on, stand up, stand up. Let's get off the boat.
Hideyoshi-sama, Eva-sama, is everything all right? Are you not feeling well?
This time, it was Goda. It looked like they'd kept everyone waiting too long after all. Even Eva had to stand up without grumbling now. She had to stop forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him any more trouble. Because that wasn't something a good wife would do.
Is everything okay? If it's a matter concerning your health, shall I call Dr. Nanjo?
Thanks, but I'm just feeling a little anemic. I'm fine now.
It's a woman's disease. Don't worry about it.
Come on, don't say stuff like that in front of people. It's embarrassing.
Oh, sorry.
Eva elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. By that time, her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. Hideyoshi really did just win, huh?
Big time.
I know we said it last episode a bunch, but he really just did.
The bright sunlight outside almost made her dizzy. Actually, do we want to call it here?
Almost. We're almost
Okay.
there.
A small plank for getting off the boat was lowered, and Goda was waiting there, smiling and ready to lend them a hand.
Please, Eva-sama. Your hand.
Thank you.
Welcome to Rokenjima.
Ah, there we go.
Hold on. Welcome back. Huh?
When she left the boat, it seemed to Eva as though she'd heard the voice of her young self. I just got an achievement, by the way, that was called Welcome to Rokenjima Island of the Witch. No, it hadn't seemed that way. Someone had told her welcome back. After becoming a shameless adult, the voice of her young self was distant.
What am I living for?
I'm just imagining her stepping off and like Goda's still holding onto her hand and she just says that and he's like, what? What did I do?
He would have said, welcome to Rokenjima, and she just would have said, what am I living for? Okay. Alright. What can I do to release myself from this obsession?
Hideyoshi heard her talking to herself. When Hideyoshi held on tightly to Ava's shoulders, his firmness alone told her that there was no need to say any more. Maybe it was because the typhoon was getting closer. The lively cries of the seagulls, which usually greeted them when they arrived, couldn't be heard at all. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I have a thingy now that tells me where the chapter divides are, so I can just get us at a good point.
Man.
Okay.
Hooked. I want to know what's up with this weird young Ava. Why is she a witch?
Yep.
Why is she talking about magic? Is she just Beatrice wearing a disguise, or is she an entirely new thing? What's going on?
There's a lot to think about in episode 3. I told you, episode 2 is the great hurdle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 has the gigantically long aquarium date and everything. It's a very important episode, but it's slow and hard to get into. But all the other episodes, they get you in there.
Oh, what is this? What is this little...
I think it's just like setting the
there
mood.
we go. Thanks for playing Umineko. No.
True. Wish list on Steam.
Yeah. This was our beta, but
Yeah.
stay tuned for when we go into 1.0. Oh, man. Look at this old save. Because we were in episode 2, so I didn't have to save for episode 3.
That's true.
There we go.
Well, a few things to talk about before we dismiss the stream.
Yep.
Thoughts, first off, on the tea parties. The insanely brutal tea party with Rosa eating her siblings. We'll start there, I guess.
I mean... Wait, excuse me? Next.
Huh? Ah.
Interesting. Okay. But, I mean... I know that the brutal part is probably just continuing, setup for us to be like, yeah, we gotta root for Badler because Beatrice is horrible and awful. And she's doing horrible, horrible things to this family. No matter how bad the Ushiromios are, they don't deserve this, right? Maybe, question mark. But also, I mean, in episode 2, I think Shannon managed to pierce the veil a little bit in her confrontation with Beatrice. She struck a nerve when she was talking about love. Beatrice got upset about that. So, we know now that there's something in there that makes her the way she is. And that's what I'm intrigued about, is what are we going to uncover about her,
It's
right?
true. Beatrice is more than just the bad witch. There's a person lying beneath all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a character.
And now there's a second Beatrice.
True, what'd you think about that? What was that? Was that in the question marks? No, that was in the prologue.
Weird. Very quickly it did answer my question about, obviously this is probably where Beatrice got her namesake from. And it was her teacher, quote unquote, who she has now surpassed. I'm assuming that's going to be a character that returns in perhaps just more flashbacks. It would be very weird for her to have a sprite, if not. But yeah, no, that was... And she seemed very much more to have more of a moral compass than many of the other witches do. She very much was you should use magic for good things. And she called witches that just use magic to kill weak. She said they were weak and easily tempted. Almost a little religious in her way of speaking. Interestingly enough.
And yet at the same time, you have to think, because that she was not an endless witch. Is like what made her not become an endless witch? Is it because she's nice?
True. Is it because she's nice, or is there something else at work there?
Yeah.
But at the same time, to become an endless witch isn't all it's cracked up to be. Because sure, you're pretty much like a god, and you're infinitely powerful, but you have to have your own suffering, right? Because then what do? You've done it. That's the pinnacle of existence.
Yep.
Now nothing satisfies you anymore. It's kind of a purgatory of your own making.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and then, speaking of, what about the question mark scene? We met Lambda Delta, of course.
Man, I Lambda Delta
fun.
What?
I was trying to make it MILF.
Man, I lambda delta Bernkastel.
Milb. She's funny. I like her.
Yeah.
She's really funny.
And of course, Beatrice outed Bernkastel.
Yeah, true. I think Lambda Delta is a very nice contrast to the... Beatrice is funny, but she's not, like, 24/7 funny. She's funny because of how unnecessarily cruel she is sometimes with the, like, you are incompetent. Bernkastel's not really funny. She's kind of serious at all times. Yeah. So it's nice to have one of the witches who's like, ha ha, stupid, dummy, idiot. Just hit her with a rock.
And she herself is also dumb. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Okay. And then, what about that whole flashback with Ava? What are your thoughts on all that? And then we'll dismiss. We obviously learned a whole lot about Ava really quickly that might completely already recontextualize your thoughts on her.
Yeah, it recontextualizes my entire thoughts about why she treats Natsuhi the way she does, because she probably sees everything in Natsuhi that Kenzo wanted out of her, which is probably why she's such a bitch to Natsuhi. Which doesn't excuse it, but at the same time, it explains it a lot more and makes it
helps you to
understandable.
sympathize.
Yeah. Hoof. Man. This is gonna be I really wasn't expecting, like, you could get undertones of it, right, based off of the first 2 episodes, but I was not expecting them to just open with Kenzo and Kraus being actually just super sexist.
It's,
like, black and white sexist, not even veiled.
Yep. I mean, you don't get people... Well, I don't know. This is a story that was written, or at least this game was published in 2008, and then it takes place in 1986, and that was a flashback that took place even further. The further you get in time, the more sort of expected some of this is, to a degree.
But I still feel like even in, like, the 1960s or 70s, or whenever that would have had to have been, maybe even the 50s, still, like... that harsh of language probably wouldn't be like how people would have how a decent chunk of men would have put it. There would have been, it's like what Kraus said when he was like, it sucks, like, putting it bluntly. I don't want to say it bluntly like that. But I don't know.
I think, see, I was going to talk about this earlier. I think Umineko, perhaps because it is so large, or maybe not. Oh, hey, look, it's all of them. Look at that. Character customizer be like. But the things that Umineko does that I would normally find cringy or not very well executed in other stories, I find done well here. For example, having sexist characters, when I see it in other shows, I'm like, okay, you're propping up a straw man. Yeah. I never like it. I hate it. But in this case, I like it because it's real characters that we experience throughout the thing. They're not just NPC, like Evil Man A. Yeah. It's not characters like that. These are people that have vast and wide impact on the story, more than beyond just that they are sexist, but that is also part of them. All of the goats.
All of the goats.
Look, it's all of our subscribers. Because they're the goats.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say on a similar point is the cursing, the swearing that is used in this is done well, because it's... I saw a meme of this recently that was Umineko if it was written by Vivzipop. And it was, without freaking love, it cannot be freaking seen, but it was not the word freaking. And I was just like, true. They use it to an overabundance, and people think it's funny, and it works for their tone. But it definitely diminishes the quality of the show to some degree. Yeah. And in here, they use it sparingly, either to accentuate the point of a character, or to accentuate the character of a character. Yeah. And I think it's done beautifully.
I think it's done very well.
People don't want to hear it, but I don't like swearing all the time. Who would have thunk? But anyway.
Let me read through these descriptions just before.
Go ahead. That was my high horse on Umineko being peak.
The Endless Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years, she is known for being exceptionally cruel, even among witches. She loves bullying the weak and is capable of using trial and error endlessly to find the cruelest fate they can possibly be given. And she toys with her victims even further by piling on one after the other. This witch is extremely powerful, but word has it that she sometimes becomes obsessed with creating certain patterns, so that her means end up becoming her goals. I saw a tier list that was, I think it was like all Questions arc characters, and it was like the tiers of all of them where someone had put them, and all of the 7 sisters were in a tier at the very bottom that was below F, but it was just called cute.
Please tell me the goats were in there.
I don't know. I'll have to find it again.
Aw.
The 7 Sisters of Purgatory. High quality furniture created by Beatrice. Satan takes on the role of the constantly angry class president.
Yep.
She's always quick to scold people, which is why the other sisters are so scared of her. For that reason, no one's ever willing to talk back to her, and she's actually quite lonely all the time. Dang. She'll sometimes intentionally do things that ought to get her in trouble, but none of the other sisters ever scold this lonely furniture back. Leviathan often represents the younger sisters when speaking to Lucifer. Deep down, she has a brutal, deeply envious nature and is adept at spotting people's weaknesses. However, she's more of a selfish crybaby than a person burning with envy. For some reason, she's not very good at handling tough situations and often ends up coming in last among the sisters, getting the short end of the stick and crying. Asmodeus is always doted upon. Oh, she's the youngest. This might be why she alone is kept out of the way whenever an even slightly lewd topic comes up. She's all dressed like that. She's always looking for a boyfriend in the hopes that her sisters will finally accept her as an adult. I volunteer. However, she keeps aiming too high and whiles away each day dreaming of the prince who will never come. If she lowers her standards, I'm right here.
True.
It didn't. There we go. Belphegor is well trusted and known for being a reticent.
Yeah.
That's the word. Serious and responsible piece of furniture. However, this is partly due to her demonic desire to turn her masters into useless, lazy pigs.
Dang.
In that sense, she might be the most demonic of all the sisters. She's serious to a fault and not at all used to being treated kindly instead of the other way around. Belphegor and Lucifer just have the same hair but different hairstyle.
Yep.
Lucifer is the oldest of the sisters and therefore their leader. Because of this, she claims to be the strongest of them all, but she's secretly aware that she's actually the least talented.
Dang.
Oh, we're getting all the funny characters at the end of 2.
There's so, if only you knew.
However, she has always acted with arrogance in an attempt to hide this fact from the others. Her greatest fear is that her sisters will scorn her if they ever find out. Mammon is quick to grab whatever she wants without any concern for her sisters. Her motto is monopolized through greed, which means she's usually the main cause of arguments between the sisters. However, she is also the most honest about her own feelings and the one most likely to try and please the opposite sex. Is she the one who rubbed Goda? She may be greedy, but
Not
she's
sure.
a hard worker who will stop at nothing to capture her target's affections for all eternity.
I forgot about that, honestly.
Oh, this is just Leviathan again?
We may have looped. Are we missing one? Oh. Did we get drills?
Did we get drills? I think we didn't. That's strange. Is it just random? Because we
It
definitely
might
didn't
be
loop.
random.
We definitely did not loop. Okay.
No, we did not.
Beelzebub is the gourmet of the sisters and is known for being a big and picky eater. Her personality is similar to Mammon's, and the 2 sisters often fight over the same thing. She's always talking about food, which makes her a calming influence among the sisters. However, she also has that disturbing desire to kidnap pretty boys and store them in the food cellar.
Hey,
I volunteer.
been there. What?
You have? Lucky?
No, I've been wanting to capture people and put them in the food cellar.
Oh, I thought you
Like,
you
I've
had
been there.
in the food cellar.
No, not yet.
We got Satan. I think that's everyone now.
That should be all 7, yeah.
Okay. And the goats. All of the goats. Low-level furniture in service to Beatrice. They are great in number, but silent and lacking personality. They obediently follow their master's orders. Their senses are closer to those of animals than humans.
Yeah.
And they're surprisingly dull-witted, which sometimes leads them to misunderstand their orders.
They have by nature a massive build like a minotaur's and fearsome superhuman strength. They may be low-level furniture, but the ability to summon an inexhaustible supply of them makes them extremely convenient.
Okay. I was gonna say, that's it.
Well, dang, I did save, right? Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Ladies and gents, join us probably next week for the next edition of Umineko.
Yes.
Podcast tomorrow. Castlevania Thursday. Elden Ring Saturday. And Monday, probably, because we don't have a co-op video filmed yet. So it'll be a double Elden Ring parter, which is fine, because we got to get it done in a little less than 2 months, actually.
True. Oh, Elden Ring.
Yeah. Free me.